beneficent, the most merciful. And in the name of his last messenger, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I'm able to greet you, brothers and sisters, of the greetings of peace and paradise of Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, sir.
As customary, brother minister first, I appreciate him asking me to have a few words to open up with you. So I'll be brief and kind of give you the opening of what we have. But at first, let's all join in prayer. And we put our feet at a 45-degree angle and our hands as if we're receiving the blessings from the Lord. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful. All holy praise is due to thee, O Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Merciful, Master of the Day of Judgment. Thee do we serve, and thee alone do we beseech for help. Guide us on the right path, the path of those upon whom you bestow favors, and not of those upon whom thy wrath is brought down, nor of those who go astray after hearing thy teachings. Amen.
Amen.
So I realized in the prayer I made a mistake. A prayer is a prayer. We love to have a prayer. We have an opening and a closing prayer. That was the closing prayer, but that's okay. So we just acknowledge what we do and keep it moving. Right?
Yes,
but it's a blessing to be here. Before we bring up Brother Minister Daniel, I wanted to get us warmed up with a concept that we got to keep getting familiar with, and this concept came from our dear beloved leader and teacher, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
yes, sir.
He talks about an old world going out and a new world coming in. And he also talks about this being the dawn of a new day.
That's right.
Well, let's examine the day that we live in. And let's examine these teachings, which is based in the scriptures of the Bible and the Quran. Both allude to an old world going out and a new world coming in.
Yes, sir.
But we, coming out of triple darkness, have had a lot of misconceptions and have been deceived as to what it looks like for an old world to go out and a new world to come in. That triple darkness is the ignorance that they placed us in.
That's right.
You know, it was their brothers over there in Britain that taught them how to educate the slave and keep them a slave.
Yes, sir.
So when we were first brought here, we weren't even allowed religion. We weren't even allowed Christianity. But they first educated us with Christianity to give us the education of religion to keep us in darkness.
That's right.
When the religion is supposed to bring you into the light. But the devil used it to put you in darkness, knowing that you was already in darkness, that you'd be easy, gullible to fall for.
That's right. Teach.
As a matter of fact, a lot of our people wake up in the morning and feel like they got woke. The original woke term came from our people.
Yes, sir.
Somebody took it from what it used to be for what we had in the early 2010, 2012. They was talking about being woke again.
Yes, sir.
But their waking up was getting out of one stage of darkness and jumping back into another stage of darkness.
Yes, sir.
So we didn't realize that the devil had to get us in darkness to put us in darkness. Had we been in light, we'd have never fell for any of his tricks in the first place.
That's right.
So he came and grabbed a superstitious people. And so I want to talk about the superstition in the concept of the old world going out and the new world coming in. We hear terms all the time like the hereafter. Well, when we talk about the hereafter, our people seem to think about a thereafter. But it was never called a thereafter. It was called a hereafter. And so this is about the subject of the old world going out and the new world coming in. The new world coming in isn't a thereafter. It's a hereafter. As the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us, hereafter the removal of the present rulers of the wicked world.
Come on, that's right. Yes, sir.
So we don't even research words like world. We think world automatically means the entire planet Earth. It can be the Earth. It can be your backyard. You got the underworld.
That's
You got
right.
the music world.
Teach.
You got the business world,
Yes, sir.
right? And now we have what we call the old world battling against the new world. And when that old dark world battles against that new world of light, we call it the dawn of a new day. And in the dawn of a new day, there isn't a clear, apparent moment where it is darkness and then there is light. They come up simultaneously. At one point, it isn't as dark. And so now the light comes in and battles and wrestles with the darkness in the dawn of a new day.
Wake us up.
And so now a lot of our people is waiting for something to happen, not knowing that they sitting here living in it while it's happening.
That's right. Teach. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We're waiting on the conclusion of the war of Armageddon.
Yes, sir.
We're waiting on the conclusion of the apocalypse. We're waiting on the conclusion of the day of judgment, not knowing that we was living in that day right now.
That's right. Yes, sir. Teach.
Because in that dawn of a new day, that light and that darkness goes into a battle. And for a moment, you're not sure if it's light outside or if it's dark outside.
Wake us up. Yes, sir.
Right?
That's right.
But the old world is battling against the new world coming in. What do we mean by world? We mean about the government, the ruler. Who's the ruler? The ruler, according to the scriptures, is Israel.
Teach.
Israel is what Jacob became.
Right.
Jacob tricked his brother and his father out of the birthright.
Yes, sir.
Jacob is called in the scriptures a heel catcher. A heel catcher is a snake. Jacob is also called a supplanter. A supplanter is an imposter.
That's right. Make it plain.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Jacob was promised to be able to have, as my brother minister said, the dominion over the people. That's the rulership over the people.
That's right.
Right?
Yes,
His
sir.
name became Israel. Israel means, according to their own books, to rule as God. It didn't say to rule with God. It didn't say to rule like God. It didn't say rule under God. It's to say to rule as God. So now we have Jacob and Israel, a heel catcher, an imposter, ruling as God. God didn't come to fix and help Israel. God came to destroy Israel.
That's right.
God came looking for the lost sheep in the house of Israel. Israel had something in it that it didn't belong to it.
That's right.
And in this day and time, you see the old Israel being in unison with the new Israel. And so now they wanted to establish that old Israel as the battling power against the new Israel. And now they're going to war against the old Islam. And they done forgot, as the song say, they done forgot about Dre. They done forgot about Esau. Esau would have the dominion in the end. Right? And so as they're battling this out, the old world versus the new world. We look at the flag of Islam under the sun, moon, and stars is a universal flag. Why do we call it a universal flag?
Wake us up.
Because this flag not only is true and proper all over the earth, but it's true and proper all over the universe.
That's right. Yes, sir.
This flag includes the entirety of the universe is represented in this flag.
That's right. Yes, sir.
It's not about what some guy built. It's about what God built.
That's
It's
right.
undeniable.
Yes, sir.
Because everything in the universe appears as under the sun, the moon, and the star.
Yes, sir.
When you're on the earth and you look out, you see the stars.
That's right.
When you see a planet from the earth, it appears as a star.
Yes, sir.
If you go to the planet that appears as a star and look back at the earth appears as a star.
That's right. Teach.
Over here, we got 50 stars.
Yes, sir.
Over here, we have 1 star.
That's right.
God can only be represented by 2 numerical numbers. Every other number is blasphemous to represent God.
Yes, sir.
There's only 2 numbers that you could use to represent God in the number line. That number is 1 and infinity. Where you have 1, you have infinity.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Infinity is wrapped up in the power of 1.
Yes, sir.
But 50 is a finite number. There's nowhere in the universe where you can look up into the sky and see 50 stars.
That's right. Yes, sir.
I don't care where you are, what mountain you are, what cave you crawl under. You're never going to look out there and see 50 stars.
That's right.
You're going to see an infinite amount of stars.
Yes, sir.
All of the stars of the universe is represented by that 1 star.
That's right. Yes, sir.
See? And so this is the teachings and the science that we have to understand.
Yes, sir.
And the messenger gives to us in our lessons, can a devil fool a Muslim?
Good question.
And the answer is not nowadays.
That's right.
Well, he's been fooling a lot of people who call themselves Muslims.
Listen.
And they just now slightly starting to catch on.
Yes, sir.
They could have had the power all along to defeat the devil, but they didn't know who the devil was.
That's right.
The devil had but 1 super power to deceive the nations. He's not stronger. He don't have more muscles. He don't have more brains.
That's right.
What he has is the ability to be invisible. He's the invisible man. And the only man that called him out and showed him to the world was the teachers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
That's right. Yes,
And
sir.
the world has rejected the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to their own demise.
That's right.
Because he made the invisible man visible and in plain sight. And had he been visible all this time, the old world Muslims wouldn't still be out there having those struggles with him.
That's right.
But the reason they're having struggles with him is because they still represent the old world. See, there's a side in them in what they practice. What they practice is a Ramadan that is based on a lunar calendar.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Teach.
But the Quran and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that a year has always been 365 days.
Right. Yes, sir.
So if the Quran and the messages teaches us that a year is 365 days, where do you get less than 365 days from to tell me that I should participate in your Ramadan? Well, I'm going to tell you where they got it from. The messenger in the How to Eat to Live asked the question about Ramadan, saying he doesn't understand and he can't give them an idea of why they should practice in the month that they subscribe. And he ascribed to us the month of December.
Yes, sir.
Which, by the way, their Ramadan fell on the last month anyway.
That's right.
So even by their own standards, we're correct. Right? By their own standards, we're correct. But this is about a misunderstanding from the old world. Because the old world people are full of superstition. I'm going to show you what the sign means that they're listening to and what they're following. They're following the lunar calendar because they represent what we call in history, they called it the Dark Ages.
Speak on
And in the Dark Ages, you rely on the light of what? The moon.
Boom.
Now, the moonlight is true enough. It's not that the moonlight ain't the truth. It's just that the moonlight is a reflection of the sunlight.
That's
It
right.
ain't the real thing.
Yes,
The
sir.
real light and the source of the light hasn't come yet.
Mm.
So since you were given your understanding under the moonlight, by the moonlight, you're continuing to show where your understanding lies.
Mm.
And you have not yet come into the light of the sun,
That's right.
right?
Yes, sir.
And so this moonlight that was given to them, they don't understand that the 23 years that the Quran was revealed, they were fasting for the revelation of the Quran. Well, the Quran was revealed over 23 years. After the 23 years and the Quran was revealed, it null and voided the necessity of the fast.
That's right. Teach. Yes, sir.
Right? But we under the sunlight, and we're fasting for the removal of the devil's world in the dawn of a new day.
Yes,
The
sir.
12th month represents the end of the year. We're talking about, we want him to come to a conclusion.
Mm. Come on.
Right? We want a new day.
Yes, sir.
We want a new government.
Yes, sir.
We're looking to build a new nation,
That's right.
not an old nation. We want to build something new out of the old,
Yes, sir.
right? So I don't want to go any further. I hope I warmed up your mind to understanding that there's an old world going out and a new world coming in.
Yes, sir.
And as the messenger teaches us in our Savior has arrived, he makes all things new. That's in the scriptures as well.
That's right. Yes, sir.
So he had to even give us a new Islam. But the messenger teaches us that Islam constantly renews itself. Right?
That's right.
Some things as a principle, they last forever. But we, as Muslims, we must be quick moving, fast thinking, right down to modern times.
That's right. Yes, sir.
So a lot of the old world Muslims are stuck in old world ways and old world practices that serve the old world and no longer serve the new world, let alone the future world that we're getting ready to enter into.
Mm. That's right.
And until they come into the light of truth, of not just saying Satan and the devil, but knowing exactly who Satan and who the devil is, and the origin of the devil.
Yes, sir.
The light of truth, so that the devil can no longer be the invisible man.
Teach. Teach.
They're looking out for the jinn and don't realize the correlation between the jinn, genesis, and the genetic man.
Mm.
The word jinn, genesis, and genetics are all the same root word. And they're under the false pretense that because they are light-skinned, that they're somehow brothers with this man.
Wake us up.
They are practicing colorism as taught to them by their European counterparts.
That's right. Teach.
We in the Nation of Islam, we not prejudiced. And we not into no colorism.
That's right.
We say the white man only because that's what our people used to hear. He ain't the white man. Messages say he named himself that to get out of his real name.
Mm.
His real name is the devil.
That's right. Yes, sir. Teach.
We're not talking bad about him. I've had them corner me up and listen to me. I didn't want to teach them. They forced me to. Every one of them bear witness. It was easy to get them to bear witness to who they are.
Yes, sir.
But it's difficult to get our people to bear witness.
Mm.
Our people is asleep, but they not.
Listen.
Out of the four that has hemmed me up and demanded me give them an explanation, when they heard the explanation, they submitted and bore witness.
Think over that.
I ain't got no problem with them. We the Muslims have the least problems with them in there. I get invited to everything that they got. I had 3 of them wanted me to run for office. I said, no, I can't take you up. That's not gonna be in my wheelhouse and my background. I'm not apologizing for nothing that I say. But they had the means too. So that's true that that level of friendship, the friendship in all walks of life, that type of friendship, on that level, is universal when you come into the principles of Islam. But we can't pull no punches when it comes to calling him who he is, because the whole world is suffering because they're in some stage of darkness.
That's right. Yes, sir.
They're either in the darkness of night, relying on moonlight, or they're in the darkness of a cave, relying on no light at all.
Right.
Right?
Yes, sir.
But when we come into the sunlight, we're ready and prepared for the battle in the dawn of a new day.
Yes, sir.
I hope I got across to you well today, and I hope I was able to warm it up for my beloved brother Minister Daniel, who is very diligent and taking on a lot of responsibility, and is blessed to have the way to articulate to the people this message in this hour. We're blessed to have a brother who is going to stand up for this teaching. There's a reason in the scripture when you saw who was it, Jonah, when he saw that God had chose him to deliver the message, that he took off running. And it wasn't because Jonah was a fool, it's just because Jonah was wise. See, many of us want the accolade. We want the reward of being a minister, or as they say, a pastor. We want the reward, but we don't necessarily want the work and the responsibility.
That's right.
Right? We just want the finished product. But a smart man would run from the job.
Yes, sir.
Give it to somebody else, you say. Why are you picking me? I'm on the beach having a good time, minding my business. And I heard about them so-and-sos over there in Nineveh. they don't take kindly to instructions. So we got to be able to appreciate a brother who's willing to take a stand in this hour, because our people is a piece of work.
Yes, sir.
You think that our mission and our problem comes from the end, from the other guy. You think our problem comes from the other guy? No, our number one problem comes from our own people. Am I right?
That's right. Right.
He number two problem.
He's right.
We number one problem.
That's right.
We love that dark hole and that dark pit. We don't want to see no light. You turn a light on, first thing you say, man, why you ruining my high?
Yes, sir.
Right? So we're lucky to have a brother that's so good and so benevolent to come and speak to us and labor and deliver a message that I know is inspiring to me. So without further ado, I'd like to bring up our brother minister Daniel Shabazz.
Let's give our brother Abdul another round of applause. Beautiful opening. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the All-Wise, true and living God, who came to us in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. We can never thank Almighty God Allah for his coming. And we can never thank him enough for raising in our midst a divine leader and teacher. And I speak none other than the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So it is in those two great men's name I greet each and every one of you in our nation's greeting words of peace and paradise in the Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
How's everybody feel today?
Good. Yes, sir.
Oh, praise be to Allah. Well, as always, it's always a blessing and an honor to be among you. And we're always thankful to have you here with us, because we know there's places that you can't be. And in a time where we see our people, and not only our people, but the world falling apart, there's no better place to be than in a place where the truth is being taught. The truth, as the brother said, is the light. The light that'll guide us in this world of darkness. that we see. So we are always thankful to be gathered. As we were having a discussion before our meeting today, I was speaking with our beloved sister, and I was explaining on how the devil is not going to teach us the truth. Why would the devil teach us the truth? If the devil was to teach us the truth, it'd be like telling on itself. What criminal you know goes into the police department and tells them he just committed the crime? He'll be setting himself up for jail time, right?
Right.
Well, this is the same thing with the devil. If he was to tell us the truth about all of this that's going on today, he'd be the guilty, because he the one started all of this madness. Everything we see going on today is a product of his imagination on a world that he brought on to us.
Yes, sir.
Look around in the world today. What do we see? We see a world that has gone mad. We see crime, murder. Just turn on your television. Turn on the radio. Go on the internet. Surf the internet. All you're going to see is a lot of destruction. But where did it all come from? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad didn't just say that the white man is the devil because, oh, he put us through slavery. No, he said that the white man is the devil due to his nature. I made an example earlier today of the nature of a dog. Dogs bark at sudden noises and movements. You know, they can't help it. That's their nature.
Yes, sir.
Car drive down the street, they start barking. If they're in the house and somebody walk up to the door, they start barking, right? That's their nature. Nobody had to teach them that.
Yes, sir.
They just did it. That's it, because nature. And in order to get them to stop, we have to train them.
Right.
Teach them to not do that, right?
Right.
So that's taking them out of their nature. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that the white man's nature is to rule. This is why in the Bible, when it talk about the making of man, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad pointed out to us that that's the making of the white man. And I'm just going over this briefly before I get into my subject. But I want to make this clear, because a lot of our people they struggle with this understanding of the white man being the devil. In Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, if y'all allow me a moment, I'm going to read it.
Yes, sir.
Because we got to make this very clear. You know, I met a brother yesterday while I'm looking for my second pair of eyes. Y'all give me a moment. Met a brother at the gas pump yesterday. And I offered him Muhammad Speaks newspaper. Immediately, the brother says, "Oh, no, I'm Christian." I said, "I understand that, brother. But this paper is dedicated you to the black man and woman here in America." And I said, "You are a black man. So there's information in here that's for you. Has nothing to do with you being a Christian, brother. Just has something to do with you being a black man." And he goes into some of his beliefs and what he heard about our beliefs. And we got to this point in Genesis where it talk about the white man. Because in our discussion, he said that he don't believe that man is God. Fair enough. That's your belief.
Mm-hmm.
And I explained to the brother, well, belief doesn't mean, just because you believe something doesn't mean it's true.
Right.
That's just your belief. I said, let's talk about truth. Let's go into the Bible. Because the Bible teaches us that God is man,
Mm-hmm.
and man is God. But before I get there, let me read this. Because this is going to help us get a little understanding of our will. Now, chapter 1, if you have your Bibles, those of you viewing us online, go to chapter 1, verse 26, where God is speaking. He said, it says, then God said, let us make man. Let's stop right there. Because it's very important we understand something. Make.
Mm-hmm.
Now, from our understanding under the Christian religion, we're taught that Genesis chapter 1 is referring to the creation. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it starts off as like this. In the beginning. The beginning. What does the beginning mean? In the beginning. Right? This means the very start. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now let's stop right there, because it's another word we gotta pay attention to. Created. In the beginning, God created heaven and earth. To create means to take nothing and make something.
Mm-hmm.
When you create a heaven and the earth, he just created something from nothing. There was nothing out there. It teaches us that. There was nothing in the universe. There was nothing out there. So he created something. But when it came to man, and we didn't go through all of the things that was part of creation. We just got to the 26th verse. When he got to man, he made a man. Now, to make something is to take from creation and then make something. Just like this podium. This podium is made because it was taken from a tree that's part of creation, right?
Yes, sir.
And they cut the tree down and fashioned it into a podium. These walls are made of material that come from creation. If you know anything about construction, or you speaking to a contractor and they're going into they're about to build a building, you never hear them say, we're going to create a building. Right? If you go into any of these manufacturing companies, you never hear them say, we're going to create some tennis shoes. We're going to create a wardrobe. No, they're going to make it. Because creation is already here. It's already created. They're just using the material from creation to make something, to fashion it into something that they desire to build, right? And I want this to be understood, because this is explaining what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was teaching us on the making of a man. Now, many of us believed that Genesis was referring to, or Adam was the first man on the planet. Now, this conversation I had with a young brother yesterday, and I explained to him on Genesis, this was the making of the white man. And that Adam was the first white. Adam represents the whole entire white race. It wasn't talking about, Adam was not representing everybody on the planet Earth. But this is what we're taught under Christianity, and this is what we believe as Christians, right? That Adam was the first man on the planet. But the Bible don't teach that. I asked the Christians, where did we find that at? Because it never tells us that Adam was the first man on the planet. It don't say that in here. And to follow up on that, it teaches us that Adam and Eve, which is two people, they had two sons, right? Cain and Abel. That's 4 people, right? We all know math. We all can do math. This is simple math. Addition. Simplest form of math. 4 people on the whole planet. Cain kills Abel. Now I'm speeding through the history. I ain't going through the whole story. Just giving you an idea of. I'm trying to get you to my point. Cain kills Cain kills Abel. That makes 3 people on the planet, right?
Yes, sir.
You got a -1. Now there's 3 people on the planet. Cain gets banished to the land of Nod. Now remember, Cain said, he said that something about they would kill him. Who's the they? Who's they that will kill him? That he was referring to. Well, anyway, he goes to this land of Nod, where he what? Finds a wife. Where did this wife come from? If these were the only 3 people on the planet, and he gets, first of all, banished to a land called Nod. Usually, if a land has a name attached to it, it's because there's civilization on it.
Yes, sir.
So he got banished to a land called Nod, where he finds himself a wife.
That's right.
This is showing us that there were people already on the planet. This is why God said, let us make man in our image. Let us. Who is the us? That he wanted to make a man in our image. So think about it. If I make a car in the image of a Toyota Prius, in the likeness of a Toyota Prius, so basically what I'm doing is making another Prius, right? It's gonna do exactly what this Prius do, because I'm making it just like it. Matter of fact, it's in its image. You may not even tell the difference. Rides the same, drive the same, look the same. May have a little difference in appearance here and there because I'm making it from the original. So the Bible is teaching us something, but it was hidden in our face the whole time. The preacher, who by the way was taught the religion and how to teach it, he never taught us the difference between the creation and the making of a man. In fact, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that the Christian preacher is the biggest hindrance to our people because he stands in the way of the people in the truth.
Yes, sir.
They know, most of them know the truth, but they won't teach it. They standing in our way. Instead, they want to teach falsehood and lies to us just to keep that position that they were given. They want to stay sitting in the king's seat. The preachers and the pastors are treated like royalty. They want that respect that they get by being called pastor, deacon, bishop. They don't care nothing about giving the people the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go forward. I mean, we're going to go backwards. Make and create. Now, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that Adam represents the entire white race.
Mm-hmm.
When the Bible was referring to Adam, it wasn't talking about one person.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about a nation of people.
Mm-hmm.
We got to ask ourselves, where did all of these people come from? We got all of these different, everybody wants to say, well, we all came from the same place. True enough, but we're not the same people. We're all different. We look different. We walk different. Some of us talk different. We're different. White people and black people are actually the two opposites. And I'm not just talking about physical appearance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about in nature.
Yes, sir.
We're total opposites. Now, let's get back to the making of this man. In the making, God said this. He said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds
Mm-hmm.
of the heavens,
Mm-hmm.
and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. God is given dominion, as brother said earlier, over everything. God is making him a God.
Mm-hmm.
Because he has the power over everything, right?
Yes, sir.
Dominion. If you look that word up, dominion. Let's see if I can find it real quick. For those of you who are tuning in with us on social media, look up this word, dominion.
I got it for you, brother.
Oh, yes, sir. You don't mind reading that for us, Brother Abdul?
Dominion refers to supreme authority, sovereignty, or control, often denoting the power to rule or govern a territory. It signifies absolute ownership or dominion over a person, animal, or object.
Think over that. It signifies absolute control. Think about that. He made a God.
Yes, sir.
Over the world.
Yes, sir.
So, was the brother saying he don't believe that man is God? Well, he ain't looking because his eyes is closed.
Right.
If you open your eye, you can see there's a God ruling the world right now.
Mm-hmm.
This God been ruling over us for over 400 years here. He had the power to do us just like he wanted to, with no consequences. Who went to jail for enslaving our people?
Mm.
Nobody. Why? Because the man making the law was the God over us.
Right.
The same person who was enslaving us.
Yes, sir.
Showing us that he was a God.
Yes,
Power and force.
Yes, sir.
The possessor of power and force. That's what God is. See, God is a title.
Mm-hmm.
God is not necessarily an individual. It can be if he fulfills that title.
Mm-hmm.
God is just a title. I remember growing up as a little boy, I thought God was a name. I thought that was just what you call the supreme being, God, because I thought that was his name. Until I learned that that's his title.
Yes, sir.
The devil was a God. He's the God of evil.
Yes, sir.
And unrighteousness. In which we see what was being made in the beginning.
Mm.
If you notice in the book, there was never no sin or nothing until after that man was made.
Yes, sir.
They talk about a snake, though. This is how crafty the devil is.
Mm.
He hid it in symbolic language, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us. This is why he called the Bible the poison book. Because he took the truth, he didn't take it all the way out of here, he just hid it in symbolic language by adding falsehood into it, covering it up a little bit so you couldn't see it. You know, it's like he just sprinkled something over it, so when you walked in, it's there, but you don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
So he put a snake in the Bible. Said a snake whispered into Eve's ear. Right? What do you call a person when I was in the streets and there was a person that I couldn't trust? Someone who was sneaky, conniving. We would call him a snake. He's a snake, don't trust him. Right?
Yes, sir.
Well, this is the same thing in the Bible. It was describing the type of person by using a snake because that was the characteristics of that person who whispered in Eve's ear.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible can be very misleading. If you just read this and believe everything word for word, it can mislead you. Because this is what, and in fact, this is what happened to us under Christianity. We've been misled and we had a misinterpretation of the Bible. So it caused us to be confused. We believe Revelations teach us about a dragon.
Right.
With 10 heads. Right? A dragon. If you look up the word dragon, it'll tell you that that's a mythical creature. Mythical means that it's not even real. They made it up. There has never been a dragon on this earth, ever.
Mm-hmm.
That's a mythical creature. We don't believe in myths, do we?
No, sir.
All right. So, why did they put it in the Bible like that? It was to hide the truth from the black man. Also, it also was to describe certain characteristics. The Bible also mentions a beast coming out of the earth. A beast in Revelations. And that beast, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us, is none other than the white man.
Mm-hmm.
He said he is the beast that the Bible was referring to. Why? Because he has a beast-like nature. And he has beast-like characteristics.
Yes, sir.
Any man that can savagely murder and kill an innocent person gotta be a beast. That's a beast do in the wild.
Yes, sir.
You know, being attacked by a wild animal.
Yes.
They viciously destroy they prey.
Right.
viciously, you know, no mercy, just you know, no warning either, just attack it.
Yes, sir.
This is
Yes,
how
sir.
we've been done under
Yes, sir.
this white man here in America.
Yes, sir.
He viciously attacked us.
Mm-hmm.
This is why the Bible describes him as a beast. How can you do a man like this?
Mm.
Do you know this is how wicked these people are or have been to us? Under slavery, they used to take a man, tie him up, put hot tar on him, and throw feathers on him. Line his family up on the porch. The mother, and she's pregnant, and the children, to watch this. They tie his feet. As he's tied up with hot tar all over him, feathers, they tie him up to the back of a horse, And they slap the horse on the back side, the horse take off running, dragging this man. And they'll drag him till his flesh fall off of his body. And he's alive. Just imagine that. What kind of man? Who would even think of something like that?
Yeah.
You gotta be, that's right, the devil. You gotta be just wicked to
Yes,
even
sir.
have that thought to do that to somebody
Yes, sir.
in front of his family. His children, little children have to watch that. His wife, who's pregnant, watching that. And they did that to instill fear into us. Them children grew up fearing the white man. Because the natural order of a household is the man, the woman, and the child, right? The man is supposed to be the provider and the protector. The children look up to the father, right? Because in a child's eyes, your father is the strongest person you know, right? But to see that man being belittled and murdered in that way will cause you to fear the person that do that to your father, right? They would also do this. Take a pregnant woman in front of the family, cut her belly open, let the baby just fall out, and take the heel of their boot and crush his skull. This is why the Bible describes them as a beast.
Yes, sir.
And here our people want to argue with us about us referring to them for who they are. The devil. We don't just say that for any old reason because we have a way we feel about white people. No. We just telling the truth. That's all.
Yes, sir.
So, by them being able to do us like that, with no consequences, shows us that in the Bible, Genesis was talking about them. They're the ones who have dominion over the air,
Yes, sir.
the fowl of the air. We all know it.
Yes, sir.
They have what they call the Air Force,
Yep.
right?
Airspace. Yep.
They control the airspace. You can't even fly in the air without permission.
Yes, sir.
And I learned something too, a little bit about real estate. I didn't even know when you buy your home, the air over your home is owned by somebody else.
Yes, sir.
You don't own that.
No,
You have
sir.
to get permission. This is why they tell you, oh, you can build a fence, but it has to be a certain amount high. Why can't I build a wall tall as I want it?
Right.
They give you regulations because you can't go that far. They the ones telling you how high to make your fence.
Yes, sir.
Because they have what? Dominion.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
This is what the Bible teaches us. Oh, praise. They have dominion over the sea.
Yes, sir.
They got the Navy. out there in them big old ships, armed with destructive weapons, telling everybody you can't come over here in this sea without permission. Is that right?
That's right.
And on the land,
Yes, sir.
they got the army, the Marines. You can't, they control this.
Yes, sir.
This devil got a base almost everywhere on the planet.
Yes, sir.
The only place you're going to see an army base from another country.
Right.
In their land.
Right.
How is that? Who are these people they can do that? Well, the Bible told us. This was the making of the devil. The making of the man was the white man that was given dominion over the earth and everything on it.
Yes, sir.
This is why, if you're paying attention to today's time and what's going on over there in the East, they're fighting to remain in power. They want to still continue to be able to tell people what to do on their land.
That's right.
America over there trying to talk about corruption in these other parts of the country, other countries, when they got corruption going on here.
Right.
How you gonna go over there? They killed what's his name? Saddam, right? They made him out to be the worst person on earth, right? Went over there, assassinated, killed him. Because of they say what he was doing to his people. Right? But what about here?
Right.
Why ain't nobody solving the problems that we got here?
Right.
How you gonna go over there and tell them people in their house what they need to do when your house is even worse? That's showing you these people have a sense of entitlement because they were made to rule. That's in their nature. They have a nature, just like I was talking about that dog that bark at moving objects and sounds. They do that off of their nature. So does this white man. He's acting off of his nature.
That's right.
His nature was to rule, as the Bible teaches us. He was given dominion because he was made to be a ruler. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that this God that was talking in the beginning was Yaqub.
That's right.
The father of the white race. And he given them dominion. He was making a man that was greater than the man that was already on the planet at that time. That was he. As a child, he had a determined idea. He was born with a determined idea to make a man. So he went to work and made his man. And his man been ruling over us for, well, he's been on the planet for 6,000 years, but he's been ruling, proving the Bible in the scriptures was right. Let us make a man in our image, in our likeness. I don't know about y'all, but I always question, how did we get all of these different races? I think I spoke about this in our class Tuesday, where I used to imagine in my mind that God had this factory that was producing little white babies, little red babies, and it was just a manufacturing, just building them all up. But in reality, we all know that's not how babies are made. Babies come through the womb of a woman, right? We know we have a black woman that's producing black children. We got a Chinese woman producing Chinese children. We have a white woman producing white children, right?
Yes, sir.
So how did we get all of these different colors of people, races of people? We never really thought about that. How did this, or maybe we have. We just never understood it because it never was taught to us. They don't teach that in school. We all somehow believe that we came together, somebody had to come first.
Teach.
Now let's look at it. Was it the white man that came first? And if so, how did we get here? Because we ain't never seen two white people have a black baby. That ain't possible. Now today, white man has been tampering with genes, and he's been tampering with DNA, and he's been tampering with all type of things. He may be able to take a baby and inseminate it into the woman. He's wise enough to do something like that because he's been experimenting with everything and everybody. I remember back in the 90s, I had a best friend and I was staying with him and his girlfriend. They were both of them. I think it was either him or her. Don't quote me on this. But one of them couldn't have children, so they were thinking about going to this doctor to try to get, some type of, because they wanted a child together. And I remember him coming back home with this brochure, and he showed me. He's like, "Man, check this out." I looked at it. And on the brochure, it's like they were pretty much telling you we could make you any kind of baby you want. They showed a picture of the eye color. You can choose the eye color of your child, the hair color. I said, "What in the world?" I was wild on that.
Yeah.
But that just goes to show you this devil been tampering and playing with everything. But what do we expect him to do? He got dominion over everything. He gonna try everything. He gonna tamper with everything because in his mind, he owned everything. That's why he getting in rocket ships right now, going all out into space. He want to go out there and control something.
Right. Right.
Allah say that he got a flaming sword awaiting him up there, though. They're not going to be able to get out there and do what they want to do here, like they've been doing here, out there. Allah ain't going to allow them to do that. He gave them dominion here. But he allowed them to peek into his creation.
Right.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that before Allah destroy a people, he gives them a peek into the heavens.
Yes, sir.
Right? And then so they can see his power. They may think they are so mighty, but when they see his power, it makes them feel small.
Right.
So he allowed them to peek into creation. Then he showed them that he's the master of all this. He created all of this, and he can destroy you no matter how mighty you think you are. Let us make a man in our image, in our likeness. They've been ruling us for over 400 years now. And the Bible teaches us about a day where God will come back for us. In fact, God made a promise to Abraham. And he said, "Abraham, know of a surety that thy seed will be a stranger in a land that is not theirs.
Yes, sir.
They will be tormented and afflicted for over 400 years.
Right.
And he said that I will come back and deliver them and destroy those who afflicted them." Right? God promised Abraham that he will come back and deliver us.
Yes, sir.
And he's going to destroy those who are afflicting us. Right? That was God's promise to us.
Yes, sir.
So here we are today, 2026, over 400 years up from our from slavery. God has sent us a messenger to warn us and to wake us up, to prepare us to get out of here, to go to a land of our own. Because in that promise to Abraham, he said he was going to give us a land of our own. He said flowing with milk and honey. Promised land. Where we were given a promise that we would be given land of our own. Who in the world fits that description besides us? Who else been a slave for over 400 years to a people, taking it from their own land and forced to be a slave under another people under their land? Nobody but us. The Jews try to claim that spot, but the Jews, if you go ask the Jews who they was enslaved by, they'll say, we weren't enslaved by nobody.
That's right.
Right? And their history prove it. They've never been enslaved.
That's right.
They say that Holocaust is how they try to prove who they are. The Holocaust didn't last 400 years.
No, sir.
They weren't in slavery. They were in camps. They weren't enslaved. They weren't taken like we were taken to a land that wasn't our own, mistreated for 400 years. We lost everything. They were giving everything back.
Yes, sir.
I asked them, well, if y'all fit the description of the Jews in the Bible, who's your Moses? Who brought them to the land? Because they own the land now, but who brought them there?
Right.
See, the Bible teaches us that before the great and dreadful day of the Lord, I will send you Elijah. And that's in Malachi chapter 4, verse 4. Before the great and dreadful day of the Lord, I will send you Elijah. Everybody waiting on Jesus, though. Why? Elijah's to come. In fact, the Jews, they know this. They're not waiting on Jesus. They keep a seat at their table preserved for Elijah. Many of our people don't know that. They waiting for Elijah to come. But Elijah came. He already came. This scripture is talking about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
Who came to turn the hearts of the fathers back to the children, and the hearts of the children back to the fathers, right? Well, what does that mean? Our fathers. He turned us back to where we came from. Turn us back to our original self, who we are. And he also turned the hearts of our people back towards us.
Yes, sir.
This is Elijah, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But the Christians will have us waiting on Jesus, who died 2,000 years ago. They say that Jesus is coming back. And right now, the whole world, with all of this madness happening, you hear more talk about Jesus coming. Jesus is coming. And the brother that I had the conversation with at the gas station, who don't believe God is a man, somehow believe Jesus is God. The brother said that he believed Jesus is God. I said, well, brother, wasn't Jesus a man? If Jesus was a man, and you say he's God, and I told the brother like this, we don't disagree with you. Jesus was God. I said, you're a God. I'm a God. We're gods. The brother, he wanted to argue with me on that. I said, no, brother, listen to what Jesus said. Jesus said, ye are all gods. Under the children of the Most High. Right? Ye are all gods, children of the Most High. So that's letting us know that we are all God. And we are, if God is our Father, we are what our Father is.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
So, man is God. This is why most people who are atheists have a problem understanding or believing, in God. Because they'll question, why would a God allow all of this stuff to happen? Why would God allow babies to be killed, murdered? Why did God allow our people to go through what we went through here? Why is God allowing them bombs and stuff to destroy all of those civilizations over there that they warned with? Why is God allowing drugs to destroy our communities? Why would God allow this? Because that God, that mystery God, don't exist. It's not that he's allowing it. He's not here. He's not real.
Right.
The real God is the God that's ruling the world.
Right.
That has dominion over what we do.
Right.
This God give us the tools to destroy ourselves. He teach us how to kill. We went through 400 years of watching him kill us. That's how we learned it.
Yes, sir.
Just as I was telling about the children lining up watching their father be murdered. Think that didn't teach them something? Yeah, they learned. We learn all of this stuff from the God that is, they say, allowing all of this to happen. Why would God allow this? Because he's ruling, and he's the devil. So we have to have God come and destroy this world. Now, if the God, that mystery God, don't exist, who gonna come and destroy this world? What God is gonna come? They waiting on Jesus to come surfing on a cloud to destroy this wicked man that's ruling the world today. But that's not gonna happen. That's why 2,000 years after his death, we still ain't seen Jesus yet.
Yes, sir.
Ain't nobody seen Jesus nowhere in 2,000 years. Many of us don't know Jesus' body still over there in Omar's mosque.
Yes, sir.
They still have his body preserved in glass. Those at the top, they know it.
Yes, sir.
The ruling class of the world know it.
Yes, sir.
Many of them visited the body of
Yes,
Jesus.
sir.
But they won't tell us. Because they want us to keep believing in that mystery God that's going to come. Because as long as we have our heads in the clouds, waiting for a mystery to come save us, they going to continue ruling us. So Allah had to come himself. The devil's time was up in 1914. Yahweh Elijah Muhammad teaches us that Allah, they could have destroyed the devil then. The angels and the 24 scientists was ready. At that time, they was ready to take him off the planet. But Master Farad Muhammad, to whom we give all praises to, loved us enough that he said, no, I'm going to go and find them. And I'll deliver them. This is why it upsets me when I hear people disrespect Master Farad Muhammad. And they talk bad about him, not knowing this man come to save you and I.
Sir.
They say that, oh, well, wasn't he a white man? They say he sold drugs, all of this. And I said, man, come on. Let's use some common sense here. I don't know one drug dealer in the world who's out telling people not to take drugs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What sense does that make?
Yes, sir.
What would he look like going around telling black people in the early 1900s to clean themselves up, be dignified, comb my hair, eat the right foods, teach us to love each other. He taught us to love ourselves.
Yes, sir. Yes, he did.
So it just bothers me that people have the audacity to talk bad about him because they watched a YouTube video. Oh, I seen it on TikTok. Man. And they don't understand. And our poor people are falling victim to this nonsense because, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us, our people are easily led in the wrong direction and hard to lead in the right. This is why you can see us doing all the foolery in the world. We easily led down that direction. We calling our women B's and H's. Our women accepted it, and now they calling each other B's, and I'm the baddest B.
Yes, sir.
Easily led in the wrong direction.
Easy.
That's not the right direction for us to go in. How can the world respect our women when they accepting being called a B?
Yes, sir.
The world don't respect that. And here we have Master Farad Muhammad come to us and give us a better lifestyle. Clean us up. Gave us our own flag. Nobody else in the world came to us to do that for us.
That's right.
So I don't care if they say he's a white man or not. Even if that was true, what he has done for us is more than anybody has ever done and they even thought of doing for the black man and woman.
Yes, sir.
So I don't waste time arguing with people. They say he's a white man, okay. That's your choice. That's your choice and belief. That's fine. I know better.
Yes, sir.
We know that he's a black man.
Yes, sir.
Because we understand and we know we've been taught who his father is.
Yes, sir.
And we also understand genetics. Black people come in all different types of colors.
That's right.
We have different types of structures in our faces. Some of us have broad noses. Some of us have slimmer noses. Some of us we're different in certain ways depending on the climate we come in, we live in, depending on the terrain, you know, in our genetics. So to say that he's a white man is false. And I always tell brothers they need to do better research. Do better research. For one, don't go to somebody who hates Islam to learn about Islam. You're not going to get it. That's like going to the devil to learn about the truth about God. He ain't going to tell you the truth.
That's right.
He's not going to give you what you need to know. He's going to tell you what he wants you to know.
Right.
So we have all of these people who are in opposition to what we've been taught. However, they can't prove us wrong. They can't prove us wrong when we say that that man is God. They can argue against it, they can disagree, but when we come to proof, we ask them for proof, they have none. I asked the brother at the gas pump, I said, well, if man is not God, I said, then show me a God that exists. To exist. Somebody read that definition for me, if you will. We're getting close to wrapping it up.
Exist means to have actual real being, material or spiritual, to live or to be present.
Stop right there. To live or to be present. To have actual, read it one more time, brother.
To have actual real being, material or spiritual.
Stop right there. To have actual. That word actual is telling us something.
That's right.
Real actual.
Real being.
Real being.
To live or to be present.
Now, let's stop there. When I asked that brother, show me a God that exists, that means he had to show me some proof, some actual real being. And we can keep going word for word for word, and it's all going to be the same thing. It's going to lead you into the same thing, that man exists, or a material being, something that's physical. You see? To exist is to live. Where is this God that we've been praying to under Christianity? Where is the proof? And why did we accept that belief? Yahweh Elijah Muhammad teaches us that Christianity is a slave-making religion.
Yes, sir.
Under slavery, it was easy for a slave to believe this religion.
Right.
If I'm the slave master and you my slave, and every Sunday you see me going to church, you're not allowed to go yet. You see me going to this church and I'm praying to God, and I have everything. All the things you want, I got it. In your mind, you'll believe, wow, his God must be real. Because he got everything he wanted. Everything he prayed for, he get it. You'll think that I have a personal connection with God somehow. I got everything. So when I allow you to finally accept my religion, you're going to be happy to have it, because now you feel like, okay, I can get closer to God too, and I can get some of the things I've been always wanting. Right? Mentally, this is psychology. They've been using psychology on us since they brought us here. And it's been working. Matter of fact, it's worked 100% on us. This is why we never rebelled. We haven't had a real rebellion. I mean, there have been some in the past that have tried, but they made a good example out of those, just like they do today. Martin Luther King was an example. They made an example out of him. And this is no disrespect to the late Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. But we got to tell the truth. Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. was a preacher of theirs. He got his DD from them.
That's right.
They taught him Christianity. They gave him the title Reverend.
Right.
God didn't give it to him.
Right.
He got it from the devil. What did they say? school of thought. So he worked for them. And when he met with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, an awakening happened in the man. Minister Basir Muhammad, who taught me Islam, he told me he was there at the house when Martin Luther King was sitting at the table, crying. He said that Martin Luther King believed what the messenger was teaching. He believed that white man was the devil, but he was in fear. He feared the white man. He said that it was out of fear is what stopped him. If Martin Luther King wouldn't have had that fear in him, Allah would have spared him. Allah would have spared his life. Even the messenger said that. But they made an example out of him, because as soon as he started talking about changing, direction, you notice that's when they killed him.
Yes, sir.
The messenger said that during that meeting they had, the devil was outside listening to the whole conversation with their mechanical devices, wire taps. They had his home tap. He was under 24-hour surveillance, speaking about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So they were aware of this meeting. They knew what was said in the meeting. And shortly after, that's when the assassination took place. Now, back to this God. Where does he exist? It's kind of crazy today to see people in 2026 still believing in a mystery God. And it's even more crazy when you see them attack us for believing in reality.
A real God. Yes,
a real God.
Yes, sir.
The Bible describes him as the true and living.
Yes, sir.
Living. That means he exists.
Yes, sir.
Describe him as he, him, his,
yes, sir.
All male pronouns.
That's right.
The devil has deceived us, deceived the whole world. And what a trickery it is to trick a man into believing in something that don't even exist. That is powerful. That is powerful. As I was talking with our sister this morning before the meeting today, I was talking about how the power of Allah. The power of Allah. Allah came and rose us up a messenger. He rose up the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I'm about to wrap it up, brothers and sisters. But he rose up the Honorable Elijah Muhammad with just a word. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was a man who didn't get past the 3rd grade in education. He had a 3rd grade education. He was a little man. He wasn't no big, brawly, strong man with muscles popping all out of him. He wasn't a highly educated man who went to the top prestige colleges. This is showing the power of God. Yes, he could take a man with a 3rd grade education, a little man, right out of the South. Now, it's important to understand that. Why out of the South? In the 1920s, 30s. Think about how the South was in 1930. Many of our people were scared to death because this was happening.
That's right. All day.
We had tons of fear in our heart.
Yes, sir.
For this white man. And he took the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, man who witnessed this stuff happen. and gave him a word. He didn't come and bring him no machine guns. He didn't come bring him a fleet of angels. He gave him a word. And with that word, he went around the country and raised up a nation.
Yes, sir.
A nation under the most corrupt and wicked nation in the planet.
That's right.
Who are still doing us like this.
That's right.
This is the power of God. He gave this little man a word. And with that word, we here today, standing before you, teaching the same truth.
All praise is due to Allah. Yes,
All
sir.
praise due to Allah. Yes, sir. And the devil has not intervened yet. He's not out here attacking us.
No, sir.
It's our own people
That's right.
who love this devil because they fear him so much that they want to please him by attacking us.
Ooh.
But the power of God in that little man is just word. This is how Allah said he's going to show his power. Taking a little man, making him a big man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In the eyes of the world. The world respected the Honorable Elijah Muhammad
Yes,
for what he done for us. Now, if that is not God, show me the God that does it. That exists elsewhere, outside of a man. You can't. Anytime people think about God, they think of a man,
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
You can't imagine God without imagining a man in your mind. And if we are, as the Bible say, if man was made out the image and likeness of God, then God had to be a man as well.
That's right.
He had to be. Now, we're coming to our conclusion. Because we're at a day in time where there's a war we're all in the middle of. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that this war will affect every living person on the planet. And we are in the middle. What does this mean for you and I? What are we to do? As one brother asked on the Sunday, what are we supposed to do? Well, brothers and sisters, the best thing for us to do is to make our choice. You got two choices here. Allah came to offer us. Not going to force us. He's offering it to us.
Yes, sir.
For us to choose. I say to anybody out there, the time is now. Make your choice. Don't wait till it's too late. Don't wait till the doors is closed to the ark to try to get in. It's going to be too late. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that there's going to be a time where no prayers will be answered because it's going to be too late. It's going to be too late to get your prayer in. You should have been praying and doing all of that when the word was given to you. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said you should accept the truth when you hear it. Don't wait. It's going to be just like the people of Noah. They waited, partying, out there living it up till they seen the rain coming. Went over there and the doors was closed. They knocking on the door. Hey, Noah, let us in. No, it's too late. Just like the people of Sodom and Gomorrah. This is where we at today. Those stories are telling us about today's time. So I say to my brothers and sisters, make your choice. Don't wait. You know, we see all of these things happening and taking place around the world, and it's not no coincidence. All of this stuff is happening for a reason. We're in a time of destruction, a time of judgment. And it'd be wise for us to seek refuge. Get out of the way. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said in this war of Armageddon, we're not going to have to arm ourselves with or fire one cannon. Though it is going to be, it's a physical war, but for us it's more spiritual and mental. Because we're dealing with the truth versus falsehood. We've been lied to all our lives. It's time for us to accept the truth that has come to us. That light that brother was talking about, that sunlight earlier, it's shining.
Yes, sir.
It's shining over here, showing us the direction in which we should go. So, in this war, our safety or salvation is through accepting our own.
Yes, sir.
Because this is going to be destroyed. Rightfully so.
Rightfully so.
For all that they've done. They're going to, Allah say he pays, he'll pay you what you earn. Whether good or bad. You're going to get what you earn. And they earn, what did they earn? Nobody has judged them. Nobody been to prison for slavery. Nobody's been in prison today for poisoning our food. Experimenting on our babies. Nobody been to prison yet, huh? But that day is coming. And it's actually upon us. As brother said, it's already here.
Yes, sir.
We just can't see it. So at this time, we'll conclude. I pray to Allah that you've gotten some understanding
Yes, sir.
of what was taught today.
Yes, sir.
I'll pray to Allah. I'll pray to Allah. So at this time, I'm gonna say, is there any announcements anyone would like to make? No. Okay. We do just want to send a reminder to everyone. We're planning on going to Independence Day this year in the lovely city of Richmond, Virginia. I'm really looking forward to that, and I hope that we can all go together. And for those of you tuning in with us, we would like to invite you all out to join us. It's going to be beautiful. You know, we're going to come together among ourselves and our people and celebrate our independence. Allah came and declared us an independent nation. Now, if that's not something to celebrate for, there ain't nothing to celebrate. You know, we celebrate everything else. We was for years, all our life, we've been celebrating the devil's independence. That wasn't our Independence Day. Who was we independent from? The British wasn't over us. It was the devil here.
Right.
What we celebrating for? Popping fireworks and all of that. That's their independence.
That's right. That's right.
But Master Farad Muhammad, to whom all praises are due forever, but we'll never thank him enough, came to make us independent, gave us a flag of our own.
Yes, sir.
Made us a nation again. Once again, we could be proud of. So I think that it's a beautiful thing for us to come together in celebration of our independence. And we're going to come together also and have discussions on moving our nation forward.
Mhm.
So it'll be very important for us all to be there in attendance, you know, and get to know our brothers and sisters across the country. So let us plan for that. I would like for us to do a fundraiser so we can all make sure we get there. You know, I don't mind even if we get a van or a bus and drive there. I don't care. I just want to get us all there. And also, I want to announce that our sister Nabila submitted her letter and it was approved.
Oh, all praise.
Yeah. So excited about that. You know, anytime we come together and reclaim our own and accept Islam and register in our nation, even though sister has been a Muslim her whole life, she registered under her flag, under her nation, our nation, should I say. I encourage each and every one of us to do the same.
Yes, sir.
This is ours. Accept it. You don't have to do no rituals, no blood sacrifices.
No.
You don't have to get jumped in, you know. You don't have to get hazed.
That's right.
You just accept your own.
That's right.
It's beautiful.
That's right.
Don't cost no money either. Free.
Mm.
So with that being said, brothers and sisters, we do have, before we go, Brother Michael, would you pass the plate around? We have to take up a donation. If those of you who can and are willing, we like to donate because it takes money for us to do these things. As far as coming together here and teaching our people, they charge us for the lights
Yes, sir.
and the facility. And also we want to start building up our treasury here so we can start building. You know, there's a lot of things that we need as a nation. And we can't depend on the devil to do it for us. Are we going to wait on this devil to continue to feed us when he going hungry himself?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Are we going to wait for him to put homes, roofs over our heads when he losing his roofs? No, we got to do for self, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said. So let us all come together, put our dollars where it counts. You know, we spend money on everything else in this devil's world. Get a devil practically everything we get.
Mm-hmm.
Go to work for him all week, turn right back around. He get our check, cash it, go give it right back to him.
Right back.
And then we wonder why we don't have nothing. Devil done got us to the point where we don't even want heaven.
Mm-mm.
You say, oh yeah, we do. No, we don't. Because if you wanted something bad enough, you go get it.
Mm-hmm.
We give our heaven to the devil. He living good. And when it all comes down to it, guess what? He gonna run up in his bunkers underground that they got full of food down there. Everything we got up here, they got down there. While we up here going through it. So at this time, brothers and sisters, once again, I thank you all for attending, and I'm gonna turn you back over to the hands of our beloved brother Abdul as he closes us out.
Yes,
With
sir.
the final words. Brother Abdul.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Yes,
brother.
sir. Yes, sir.
Well, brothers and sisters, we knew Brother Daniel gonna deliver the word and the truth to us. I had something that I wanted to share in lieu of what the sister had just asked me. In addition to some of the teachings on what must be done with our people and why they not, where they need to be. And we have to have faith continuously in our people. Because as Muslims, one of our core beliefs is the belief in the resurrection.
Yes, sir.
And I always say that sometimes is the hardest thing to believe.
Mm.
But we don't believe in those spooky resurrections.
That's right.
We don't believe in all of the millions and trillions and zillions of people who died popping up and coming out the graveyard, coming out of this paper. And, we've been recycled. My shoes, there'd probably be 50 people claim my shoes. They'd be popping up out of everywhere.
That's right.
So we don't believe in those spooky stuff like that. The earth is like a big recycling plant.
That's right.
Right? We made out of the material of the earth. The earth is continuously being recycled.
Yes, sir.
So if all of the resurrection came about, these cars, the dirt and rocks and carpet would all be turning into people coming into judgment. It'd be crazy when you think about it. Right?
That's right.
So we don't believe in no dead, superstitious foolishness. Right? We went from the darkness through the moonlight and into the sunlight.
Yes, sir.
And so I wanted to give you this scripture. It's one of the favorite scriptures. I always ponder over the scripture. It's the scripture of the prodigal son. It says, Luke 15, starting with verse 10. It says, likewise I say unto you, there is joy in the presence of the angels of God over one sinner that repented. And the sin is what make a lot of us feel shame and not want to come in the door.
That's right.
Right?
Yes,
but the messenger, Honorable Elijah Muhammad, teaches us that you are forgiven of your sins the moment you sign up with your own flag.
Yes, sir. That's right.
He said the messenger teaches us that he charged the devil with all your sin. And he teaches us that there is no sin that we could have ever committed that is so great that we can't come back and reclaim our own.
That's right.
Right?
Yes, sir.
The Holy Quran starts with the words, in the name of Allah, the beneficent, the most merciful.
Yes, sir.
Right? That does away with this buffer zone that they try to create under the false flag of Christianity, saying that Jesus forgives. Right? No, God already had mercy and forgiveness in him. He had so much mercy and forgiveness in him, he called him the beneficent, the most merciful.
That's right.
Right?
Yes,
so we don't need no second servant to come and offer us forgiveness of what we already had. See, the devil's good at selling us something that we already had.
Wake us up.
Right?
That's right.
He sell us in freedom over here, and we already had freedom.
That's right. Teach.
He sell us a Jesus on the cross to give you mercy, and your God was already merciful.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Right? So the real thing he's trying to do is give you an effeminate male. Right? So he offered that little sissy boy image of the Jesus. He don't offer the real Jesus whose voice rolled like thunder, who had fiery red eyes.
That's right.
So that ain't the one that they offer. They offer the little sissy boy to be a buffer zone between God and you. You don't need no buffer zone between God and you. God is the beneficent, the most merciful.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I want to go on with this little scripture, this scripture right here that's made so much an impact in my life. We all need it.
Yes, sir.
And he said a certain man had two sons. And the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion goods that falleth to me, and divided it unto them as his living. And not many days after, the younger son gathered all together and took his journey into a far country, and there wasted his substance with riotous living. That's what we talk about, what we're doing over here. Yes, wasting our substance with riotous living, right?
Yes, sir.
And not many days after, the younger son gathered all together and took his journey into the far country, and there wasted his substance with riotous living. And when he had spent all, there arose a mighty famine in the land, and he began to want. And he went and joined himself to the citizens of that country, and he set him into his fields to feed the swine. And he would fain have filled his belly with the husk that the swine did eat, and no man gave unto him. And when he came to himself, he had been lost from his own self. He had been lost out of his own mind.
That's right. Come on.
When he came to himself, he said, how many hired servants of my father's have bread enough and to spare, and I perish with hunger? And I will arise and go to my father, and will say unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before thee, and am no more worthy to be called thy son. Make me as one of thy hired servants. And he arose and came to his father. But when he was yet a great way off, his father saw him and had compassion, and ran and fell on his neck and kissed him.
Yes, sir.
Brothers and sisters, this is a story that Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us is about us.
That's right.
Right?
Yes, sir.
We over here living the righteous life and spending all that we had, and we hard-headed and stiff-necked about it. Right?
Yes, sir.
But when a famine arises in the land, you ask how the resurrection of the mentally and physically dead gonna happen. When that famine arrives, then they'll turn to their father's house.
That's right. Yes,
right?
Sir.
Who is their father? It's been here the whole time. They're going to turn back to their father's house when that famine arrives.
Right.
But a lot of brothers and sisters feel like they're not worthy and ready to go from here all the way to here. The story of the prodigal son is the father did not accept him as a servant, but actually made him the ruler of the house.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Right? But there's also in the story is that when he came over, he didn't have to come all the way over before his father greeted him. His father saw him a ways off and ran and met him in the middle and kissed him in the neck. So too many of us feel like we got to clean all the way up. The Muslims is asking, no, your brother will meet you in the middle and be so happy to see you. He'll kiss you on the neck, brother.
Yes, sir. That's right.
We know it's hard to get rid of. It's a process. It's a process.
Yes, sir.
It's a brother that loves you that wants to help you through the process.
That's right.
God wanted to help us through the process.
Yes, sir.
It don't happen all necessarily in 24 hours or this, that, and the other. Come on over. A brother or sister will meet you along the way.
That's right. Yes, sir.
But you can be hard-headed and wait for that famine to rise. But sooner or later, my words, and it's going to be sooner than later.
That's right.
That famine is going to rise in the land. And they ain't going to have nothing, because out of this that we worshiping, there's another thing that we worshiping under this. And that's that man's money. So they worshiping money now. That's one of the idols that they worship is money.
That's right.
When that dollar collapses, when that famine arises, they'll come running over here.
That's right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I just wanted to close with that, sister, is like in a conjunction with brother saying, there's a multiple forces that's in play here to create. The scriptures is not to be called a lie. There will be a resurrection of the dead.
Yes, sir. That's right.
And we don't need to have a whole lot ready. We just have to have something ready. Because they're going to come running. They're going to come running when that famine hits.
Yes, sir.
It's coming. Yes. And brothers and sisters, I'd like to close with prayer. And thank everybody for tuning in. Thank everybody for showing up. Thank Brother Minister Daniel Shabazz for his contribution, his sacrifice, and his good word that keeps us going every week. We do have to do our best to come all the way correct to our home and be a beacon of light in this dark hour for our people. So at this moment, I ask everybody to stand in prayer.
Yes.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful. All holy praise is due to thee, O Allah, the Lord of the worlds. The Beneficent, the Most Merciful Master of the Day of Judgment. Thee do we serve and thee do we beseech for help. Guide us on the right path, the path of those upon whom you bestowed favors, and not the path of those upon whom your wrath is brought down, nor of those who go astray after hearing thy teachings. Amen.
Amen.
Yes, sir. Right.